Tom, quick question. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was fine. It was good. It was quiet. How was yours?
The same. Yeah, just relaxed. Yeah.
That was the worst conversation we have ever had.
Welcome back to Emily English Daily, your cozy corner for real English and real feelings. I'm Emily.
And I'm Tom. And friends, I want to say something honest. I have been having that exact conversation every Monday for about 15 years. And every Monday, I leave it thinking, that could have been a real conversation.
It could have been, and in our first language, it usually is. But in English, when someone asks the simple question, how was your weekend, our brain goes quiet, and out comes the smallest possible answer. It was fine.
It was fine. The two words that close the door politely.
Exactly. So today we are going to fix that. Slowly, gently, the way we always do. And by the end of this episode, your next Monday morning will feel a little different.
So here's our plan. We'll start with why it was fine feels safe but stays flat. Then we'll move to the small upgrades, the words that turn a closed door into an open one. After that, what you actually did, the weekend that didn't go to plan, and the cozy phrases for the slow Sundays.
And later in Word Tour, we'll slow down 10 useful expressions. And in Say It Better, we'll take some flat weekend sentences and make them sound like real life.
All right, Emily, let's start with the funeral.
The funeral?
The funeral of it was fine. It was young, it was quiet, it lived for about 3 seconds after the question.
3 seconds. That's about right.
But friends, can I tell you why it dies so fast?
Please.
It dies because we're afraid of the wrong thing. We are not afraid of the weekend, we're afraid of the next sentence, because the next sentence has to be interesting. And in a second language, interesting is hard.
So we say fine, and we hope the other person doesn't ask again.
And the other person says, yeah, same, and the conversation dies on the sidewalk.
Right, and that is a small sadness, friends, because weekends are some of the most real parts of our lives. We sleep, we rest, we cook, we see people we love. We do nothing, we do too much. And all of it becomes 2 words. It was fine.
It deserves more than that. You deserve more than that.
So, let's begin with the first upgrade, the shape of your weekend.
The shape.
Before you say what you did, you can say what kind of weekend it was. And friends, this is a small trick that changes everything, because kind of weekend is easy to say. You don't need a story, you just need one word.
One word, like quiet.
Quiet. It was a quiet weekend. Beautiful. Soft. No need to explain. The word does the work.
Or slow. It was a really slow weekend. Slow like a Sunday morning with tea and nowhere to go.
I love slow.
And busy. It was a busy one. Busy is good when you want to sound full of life without giving details.
And the magic phrase, a bit of everything. It was a bit of everything. That is the perfect answer when you did 5 small things and none of them were big enough to mention alone.
A bit of everything. 5 words, and the other person nods and smiles because they understand.
Exactly. So friends, before you say what you did, choose the shape. Quiet, slow, busy, a bit of everything. One word opens the door.
Okay, so now the next sentence, the one that comes after it was quiet, the actual weekend.
The actual weekend.
And this is where the language gets specific, because I did nothing sounds empty, but I didn't do much but I caught up on some sleep sounds real.
I love that one. I didn't do much, but... The but is the magic. It says, I did one small thing and it mattered.
Yes. So here are a few openers. I spent most of Saturday doing nothing, and the word nothing sounds a lot warmer when Saturday is next to it.
I got around to finishing my book. Got around to is a beautiful little phrase. It means I finally did the thing I had been putting off.
Got around to. The relief of finally doing it.
And here's another one. I finally had a bit of time to myself. Time to myself. Not lonely time, just quiet, chosen, your own time.
So the sentence could be, I didn't do much, but I finally had a bit of time to myself.
That sounds like a real weekend to me.
And one more. I just took it easy. Took it easy, rested. Watched something, drank tea, read a little, didn't rush.
Took it easy is a whole weekend in 3 words.
So friends, the trick is this. After the shape, add the but sentence. I didn't do much, but I caught up on sleep. I didn't do much, but I read a whole book. I didn't do much, but I finally cleaned the kitchen.
The but turns nothing into something. Okay, Tom. What about when the weekend was full? When you actually did things?
When the weekend was real.
Because not every weekend is slow. Some weekends are full of life, and you should be able to talk about those too, without sounding like a tourism brochure.
A tourism brochure, Emily.
I went to the park, then I went to the cafe, then I went to the cinema, then I went home. That is a list, not a conversation.
So instead, we group the weekend into 1 or 2 pictures. Here's a phrase for that. The highlight of my weekend was.
The highlight, the bright spot, the one moment that makes the whole weekend worth telling.
And the phrase finishes it for you. The highlight of my weekend was seeing my sister. The highlight of my weekend was a long walk on Sunday morning. The highlight of my weekend was a really good coffee.
And friends, you can also say, the best part of my weekend was. Same idea, softer words.
The best part. Warmer.
And for the social weekend, I caught up with a friend I hadn't seen in ages. Caught up with. To meet someone and talk about life. To fill in the gaps.
Caught up with. Such a warm phrase.
And one more. We had a bit of a family lunch on Sunday. A bit of a family lunch. The a bit of makes it sound casual, not formal. Not a big event, just food and people.
So the upgrade is this. Don't list the weekend. Pick one picture, the highlight, the best part, the one moment.
Okay, and what about asking the other person? Because the weekend question goes both ways.
It does.
So after you share yours, the natural next sentence is, what about you? Or, did you do anything nice?
Did you do anything nice? Oh, that's a good one, because nice is small, but it asks for real things.
Yes, and it works for everyone. A child, a colleague, a neighbor. Did you do anything nice this weekend?
And friends, you can also say, I hope you had a good one. Said at the end, like a soft closing line. I hope you had a good one.
Said to the barista, the colleague, the friend. I hope you had a good one. 6 words. Warm. Easy.
So the full Monday question, the natural one, could be, hey, how was your weekend? Oh, it was a quiet one. I didn't do much, but I caught up on some sleep. The highlight was a long walk on Sunday morning. Did you do anything nice?
That's a real conversation, Tom.
And it didn't take any special words, just small, warm ones.
Now, Tom, this is the part I have been waiting for. The weekend that didn't go to plan.
The rough weekend.
Because not every weekend is a highlight reel. Some weekends are heavy. Some weekends are just long. And in those weekends, it was fine becomes a lie we tell on Monday morning.
So we need phrases for those too.
It was one of those weekends. One of those. The phrase says everything without naming the thing. Heavy, busy, emotional, hard. It was one of those weekends.
One of those. The listener fills in their own those. It's the kindest little phrase.
And another one, I'm glad it's Monday. Said with a small, soft smile. Not angry, not dramatic, just honest. I'm glad it's Monday. The weekend was a lot.
I'm glad it's Monday. 5 words, and every adult on earth understands.
And one more for the weekend that was just a blur. It went by so fast. The whole weekend just flew by.
Flew by, like a bird, gone before you noticed.
And the opposite. It really dragged. The weekend was long, slow, heavy. It dragged.
It dragged. Such a heavy little word.
So, friends, the upgrade for the hard weekend is honesty. It was one of those weekends. I'm glad it's Monday. It went by so fast. It really dragged. Small sentences for real weekends.
Okay, and now the cozy part.
The cozy part.
Emily, this is my favorite section of the episode.
Mine too.
Because some weekends are not for doing, they are for being. Slow mornings, no alarm, tea, a book, a long shower. The kind of weekend where time feels soft.
So here are the phrases for that.
I had a slow morning. Slow, warm, no rush. The morning stretched out like a cat.
I didn't set an alarm. The luxury of saying this sentence out loud. The body wakes up on its own time. The world is quiet.
I stayed in on Saturday. Stayed in, inside, home, cozy. The opposite of going out.
I stayed in. I love that one.
And one more. I did absolutely nothing. And it was wonderful. Absolutely nothing. The absolutely makes the nothing sound like a gift.
Did absolutely nothing, and it was wonderful. That is a complete weekend story in 10 words.
And friends, if you want to add one tiny detail, you can say, I spent most of the weekend in my pajamas. In my pajamas. Still wearing them at 2 p.m. No shame.
In my pajamas. The most honest sentence in the English language.
So the cozy weekend has its own vocabulary. Slow morning, stayed in, didn't set an alarm, in my pajamas, absolutely nothing. Phrases for the weekends that heal you.
Okay, Tom, are you ready for the word tour?
Always. Let's slow these down.
Number 1. It was a quiet weekend. A soft, honest way to describe a calm weekend. I didn't do much. It was a quiet one.
Number 2. A bit of everything. The perfect answer when nothing was big enough to mention alone. How was your weekend? A bit of everything, honestly.
Number 3. I got around to. I finally did the thing I had been putting off. I got around to cleaning the kitchen on Sunday. The relief is real.
Number 4. I took it easy. I rested. I didn't rush. Saturday, I just took it easy at home.
Number 5. The highlight of my weekend was the one moment worth telling. The highlight of my weekend was a long walk in the park.
Number 6. I caught up with. I met someone and we talked about life. I caught up with an old friend on Sunday. We hadn't seen each other in months.
Number 7. I hope you had a good one. A warm closing line. I hope you had a good one. See you tomorrow.
Number 8. It was one of those weekends. A kind way to say it was hard without explaining why. It was one of those weekends. I'm glad it's Monday.
Number 9. I didn't set an alarm. The body woke up on its own. I didn't set an alarm on Saturday, and it was the best feeling.
Number 10. I stayed in. I stayed home. I rested. I stayed in on Saturday and watched a movie.
10 phrases, friends. 10 small keys for the next Monday morning. Print them. Put them on your fridge. Let your kitchen teach you English.
And now, as promised, it's time for Say It Better. We're going to take some flat weekend sentences and make them more natural, more specific, and more you.
It was good.
True, but flat. A better version, it was a really slow one, honestly. Now it sounds like a real person, not a polite robot.
I did nothing.
Honest, but sounds a little empty. A warmer version, I didn't do much, but I caught up on some sleep. Now the nothing has a shape.
I rested at home.
Correct, but flat. A more natural version, I just took it easy at home all weekend. Now it sounds like a soft, chosen thing.
I saw my friend.
Short, but a little cold. A warmer version, I caught up with a friend I hadn't seen in ages. Now the friend has history.
My weekend was bad.
True, but heavy. A kinder version, it was one of those weekends, honestly. I'm glad it's Monday. Same feeling, softer landing.
I watched TV.
Fine, but flat. A better version, I just stayed in and watched a movie on Saturday. The just stayed in makes the TV sound cozy, not lazy.
And the last one, Saturday was fun.
A little tourist brochure. A more personal version, the highlight of my weekend was a long walk on Sunday morning. Now it sounds like your weekend, not a poster.
So, English learners, here is your question for this week. We want to know, how was your weekend? And we want the real answer, not fine. Use one of today's phrases if you can. For example, it was a really slow one. I didn't do much, but I caught up on sleep. The highlight of my weekend was a coffee with my sister.
Your comment is a little English writing practice, and your real weekend might help another learner remember that fine is not the only word.
Thank you for spending this time with us. Monday mornings can be a little heavy. The fact that you listened to this whole episode in English, that is a quiet kind of brave. And now your next Monday will have better words.
Keep noticing new words. Keep speaking. Keep building your confidence.
This is Emily.
And this is Tom.
And you've been listening to Emily English Daily. Bye for now.
Your English grows one episode at a time, and the next one is already waiting.